Clint Walker, and you're watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Clint, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, record heat wave blamed for 74 deaths in the U.S., and Obama and GOP to resume tax cut standoff, and U.S. drone strike kills 15 in Pakistan, and thousands march in Pakistan against NATO routes, and 35 killed in Afghanistan violence. And U.S. gives special ally status to Afghanistan. And thousands protest alleged fraud in Mexico vote. And U.S. agents killed drug smuggling suspect in Honduras. And Morsi defies Egyptian military on parliament, receives U.S. invite. And Palestinians celebrate UNESCO designation for Bethlehem. And hundreds protest Romney fundraising in the Hamptons. And law enforcement made 1.3 million requests for cell phone records in 2011. Zimmerman released on $1 million bond. And Representative Frank marries long-term gay partner. And Illinois Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. takes leave for undisclosed treatment. And Assange says 7 WikiLeaks members under grand jury investigation in U.S. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural Counties Television Network that focuses on community involvement, and we also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, record-setting heat wave in eastern United States is starting to ease after 2 weeks of scorched temperatures. The heat wave has been blamed for causing at least 74 deaths in the Midwest and the East Coast, including 18 people around Chicago and 13 people in Maryland. All-time temperature highs hit major cities including Philadelphia, Washington, St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Louisville. With more than 4,500 heat records broken overall, dry conditions and lack of rain are also devastating corn crops across the plains. Faces the worst drought in 25 years. Western states are facing potential heat wave that could bring record highs later this week. And President Obama is expected to resume a long-running dispute with Republicans today over the Bush-era tax cuts that favor the wealthy and plunged the nation into a further deficit. In a Rose Garden address, Obama will renew his call to limit the tax cut extensions to those making $250,000 a year or less. Obama's signature health care, well, there's something about that too, but whatever. At least 15 people have been killed in U.S. drone strikes in Pakistan. The attacks occurred late Friday in northwestern province. Pakistani officials say the victims were suspected of being militants. And Friday's attacks was the first known U.S. drone strikes in Pakistan since NATO resumed supply routes there last week. Over the weekend, thousands of people began to march to Lahore to Islamabad, calling for the supply routes to again be shut down. One protester said the government has insulted Parliament and the entire nation by reopening the NATO supply. They have once again surrendered the country to the Americans like the military dictator General Pervez Musharraf had done before them. Supply route resumed after the United States apologized for the November airstrike that killed 24 Pakistani troops. Recent polls shows the anti-U.S. government sentiment has grown in Pakistan, according to Pew Research Center. 74% of Pakistanis consider the United States to be an enemy, up 5% from a year ago. And violence continues to rage in Afghanistan, where at least 35 people were reported dead in nationwide attacks on Sunday. At least 29 Afghans, mostly civilian, died in roadside bombings and militant attacks across the country. Meanwhile, 7 NATO troops were killed in separate attacks, including 6 U.S. soldiers who died in a roadside bombing in eastern Afghanistan. NATO spokesperson Gunter Katz said of the deaths, "I can confirm that yesterday 7 American soldiers have been killed in the southern Afghanistan. Anything else is still due to investigation. I cannot give you further details." Yesterday was a tough day for Afghan civilians, coalition, and Afghan forces. A number of people were killed, injured due to a number of roadside bombs and conflicts. And this was actually a couple days ago, running behind our news. Latest violence comes after Obama administration announced it would accord special ally status on Afghanistan. The symbolic move places Afghanistan in the same category as non-NATO U.S. allies in Asia and Middle East, including Israel, Japan, and Pakistan. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced the measure on the eve of the donors conference for Afghanistan in Tokyo. And she said, "I am pleased to announce today that President Obama has officially designated Afghanistan as a major non-NATO ally of the United States. We see this as a powerful symbol of our commitment to Afghanistan's future." Mexico's electoral board has confirmed the victory of PRI candidate Enrique Peña Nieto. In last week's presidential vote, Peña Nieto belonged to the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or the PRI, the party that ruled Mexico from 1929 to 2000. His chief rival, leftist Manuel López Obrador, accused the PRI of fraud. On Saturday, López Obrador led a march of 10,000 people in Mexico City to protest election results and demand a government probe. The United States has confirmed agents with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration have carried out another killing in Honduras. The DEA says 2 agents shot and killed a man who had made a threatening gesture after U.S. and Honduran agents converged on the site of a plane crash in eastern Honduras linked to drug smuggling. It was the second killing by U.S. agents inside Honduras in less than a month. In May, 4 civilians, including 2 pregnant women, were killed in a raid involving U.S. agents, although Honduras forces have said to have fired the fatal shots. Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi has openly defied the country's ruling military council and ordered the Egyptian parliament to resume its duties. Egypt's Supreme Council of the Armed Forces dissolved parliament last month after Egypt's top court ruled its election was unconstitutional. The news comes as Morsi received an invitation to visit President Obama at the White House in September. The invite followed Morsi's first meeting with the top U.S. officials, Deputy Secretary of State William Burns, since his election last month. Burns said, "We have fully committed to working with Egypt's president. It's a new government and all parties to sustain our partnership and advance our shares of interest in strong, democratic, and economically vibrant Egypt that is a force for peace and stability in the region." Hundreds of Palestinians rallied in the occupied West Bank on Saturday to celebrate the designation of Bethlehem's Church of Nativity as a World Heritage Site. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, declared parts of Bethlehem and the church to be endangered World Heritage Sites late last month over the objection of Israel and the United States. The Palestinian Authority had sought the designation in a bid to speed up urgency-needed repairs and help protect the city from Israeli occupation. Palestinian Prime Minister Salam Fayyad hailed the UNESCO recognition as a major milestone and said, "It's wonderful to have this celebration. It's a major event. It's a landmark event indeed. I believe the path to freedom and statehood. This is the most significant event to have happened since the inception of the Palestinian Authority." Hundreds of protesters rallied in New York over the Hamptons over the weekend to protest at 3 separate fundraisers for Republican candidate Mitt Romney. The events were held at the Hamptons mansions of Revlon chair Ronald Perelman, former U.S. Ambassador Clifford Sobel, and billionaire oil and chemical magnate David Koch. And newly disclosed records show the nation's wireless carriers have received a surge of law enforcement requests for customers' cell phone records. In new reports in Congress, cell phone companies say they received 1.3 million inquiries from law enforcement agencies last year for information including text messages and callers' locations. Many carriers rejected demands they found to be legally suspect, or at least one carrier referred some requests to the FBI for potential improprieties. A large number of requests were made without the backing of warrant or court orders. And George Zimmerman, the suspect in the Trayvon Martin murder case, has again been released from jail after posting $1 million bond. Zimmerman had initially been freed after posting bond in April, but has sent back to jail last month for lying about his finances in a fundraising appeal to raise money for the new bond requirements. Zimmerman's attorney, Mark O'Mara, has asked for donations by calling on all supporters who also would have shot and killed Trayvon Martin, who was unarmed and Zimmerman took his life. O'Mara wrote, "For those who feel Mr. Zimmerman was justified in his actions, for those who feel that they would do the same thing in Mr. Zimmerman's shoes, it's now time to show your support." And Democrat Representative Barney Frank of Massachusetts has become the first sitting member of Congress to have a same-sex wedding. On Saturday, Frank married his longtime partner, Jim Reddy, in a ceremony in Massachusetts. And Democratic Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. of Illinois has taken leave of absence to receive treatment for unspecified physical and emotional ailments. Jackson's office says he has been institutionalized at an inpatient medical facility to receive extended care. And WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange remains holed up in Ecuadorian embassy in London as he continues to avoid extradition to Sweden. Speaking to Democracy Now! Over the weekend, Assange says he remains in good spirit and revealed that 7 WikiLeaks staffers and volunteers are under grand jury investigation in the United States. And that's it for World News today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the rock and roll connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Jonas in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter, and pictures in the blotter not from these actual events but used for visual aid only. Grass Valley Police Department on Friday, 7:14 a.m. A caller from 100 block of Spring Hill Drive requested extra patrols due to transients and theft of tools. At 11:45 a.m., 3 people cited on suspicion of having open containers at Highway 49 and South Auburn Street. And 12:53 p.m., caller from 300 block of 2nd Street reported a residential burglary. 2:04 p.m., caller from Apple Avenue reported increased traffic with kids throwing rocks at vehicles. And 2:52 p.m., a man from 100 block of West Main Street reported a woman broke his nose. She was arrested on suspicion of spousal abuse and battery causing serious injury. At 7:08 p.m., a caller from 100 block in Neal Street reported a transient picking fights. He said he got mad when someone tried to sell him drugs. At 7:14 p.m., caller from Ray Street reported a 13-year-old on the hood of a car driving at a high rate of speed. The group was counseled. 8:24 p.m., caller from Auburn and Neal Street reported a man broke the window of a van. He was arrested on suspicion of vandalism. And 8:26 p.m., caller from 1400 block of Sedgeworth Way reported 3 or 4 men trying to start a fight. And 10:33 p.m., caller from Sierra College reported a woman passed out in a vehicle. She could not be located. And Saturday, 12:18 a.m., a caller from 100 block of Dorsey Drive reported a man smashing something with a boulder and punching it. He was found to be off his meds and not making sense and agreed to return to his campsite. 1:12 a.m., a caller from 100 block of Independence Court reported a woman screaming and using profanities. It was a party and people were going inside. And 10:30 a.m., a caller from 100 block of West McKnight Way reported a burglary and petty theft. At 10:30 a.m., a caller from Ray Street reported hearing someone shoot a speed sign with a pellet gun. 11:38 a.m., caller from McKnight Way reported a man pounding on a car. He could not be located. At 1 p.m., the caller reported the same man was at Sutton Way yelling obscenities and threatening to kill people with a machete. He could not be located. 1:58 a.m., a caller from Memorial Park reported theft of a blue guitar in a black case last night. And 12 p.m., caller from 2000 block of Ridge Road reported the theft of an edger and a leaf blower. And 6:01 p.m., caller from Sedgeworth Way reported 5 or 8 people involved in a drug deal. And 8:32 p.m., caller reported an assault at Memorial Park. And 8:43 p.m., a caller from 200 block of Rockwood Drive reported possible theft of a garage door opener. And 8:56 p.m., a caller from 300 block of Pleasant Street reported a physical fight. No charges or medical attention were desired. At 9:30 p.m., caller from 300 block of Pleasant Street reported a man came into an apartment and stashed a gun before leaving. 11:01 p.m., caller from 1000 block of Plaza Drive reported a man using drugs in a bathroom. He could not be located. And Sunday, 12:21 a.m., a caller from 1000 block of Nevada City Highway reported a man throwing trash and asking people to buy him a milkshake. At 3:40 a.m., a caller from 400 block of South Auburn Street reported bad drug traffic. And Nevada Sheriff's Office on Friday, 12:23 p.m. A woman from 12,000 block of Friar Truck Road reported money had been taken from a checking account. And 1:26 p.m., a caller from 18,000 block of Billadu Lane reported theft of money, drugs, and cigarettes. At 7 p.m., a caller reported a woman was under the influence of drugs and trading OxyContin to friends. The woman called to report an assault and theft of meds. A report was taken. And 3:42 p.m., a be on the lookout advisory was issued for 2 men who stole $195 in a scanner at Bridgeport. 2 were located by Yuba City police officers. Not 4:54 p.m., caller from 13,000 block of Woolman Lane reported a man was breaking items and causing a disturbance. He was arrested on suspicion of child endangerment. At 7:56 p.m., a caller from 15,000 block of Gold Cone Drive reported vandalism to a residence. At 11:25 p.m., a caller reported a man racing up and down the street on a motorcycle. At 8:19 p.m., a woman from 18,000 block of Cooper Road reported trespassing by a person who assaulted her in May. And that's it for the Police Blotter today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. In today's local headlines, man shot by Sierra County deputy charged with attempted murder. An MMJ patient claims pot ordinance would create de facto ban on grows. In a story written by Liz Keller of the Union, San Diego man who was shot by Sierra County Sheriff deputies on July 1st after allegedly brandishing a firearm in North San Juan bar has been arrested and charged with attempted murder. Adam Malik, 33, was placed under arrest by Sierra County deputies after he was released from a Chico hospital where he was recovering from a wound sustained in the shooting. Being held in Wayne Brown Correctional Facility in lieu of a $500,000 bail, the incident that led to Malik's shooting reportedly began at the Brass Rail in North San Juan, where Malik allegedly was screaming at people and brandishing a handgun. Bartender and customer called 911 about 1:20 a.m. July 1st to report a man armed with a semi-automatic handgun and engaged in physical fight in a saloon parking lot with another man. Malik was reportedly got in his vehicle and left driving northbound on Highway 49. Sierra County Sheriff deputy patrolled located him in somewhere out there. He was allegedly refused to stop several miles north of Donnieville. The vehicle stopped. Malik allegedly tried to drive in reverse over the deputy, ramming the patrol car. Deputy fired a shot, striking Malik. The deputy was uninjured. Sierra County Sheriff John Evans and Malik said Malik was shot in the shoulder, possibly in the abdomen, where he sustained injuries that have been from a bullet fragment or glass. According to a friend who did not want to be identified, Malik, a former Marine, said he was shot 3 times, once in the back, twice in the abdomen. One of the bullets released the shrapnel around his colon, so he had to have surgery. The discrepancy was not to be resolved at the press time. The investigation is still ongoing in Nevada County State Department of Justice investigators. Evans said in the press release, arraignment is pending in Sierra County charge. It is not clear what charges Malik faces in Nevada County. In another Liz Keller story from the Union, Nevada County ordinance passed in May to regulate the cultivation of medical marijuana contains so many restrictions that it will prevent many patients from being able to grow at all, either for personal use or collectives. That according to more than 50 declarations filed in the court Friday as part of an effort by the Americans for Safe Access to torpedo the emergency ordinance, which took effect May 8th after being approved by the County Board of Supervisors. Declaration from the members of the ASA Nevada County chapter who lives in the unincorporated Nevada County and who are qualified medical marijuana patients were gathered to buttress a request for a preliminary injunction. That request was filed by San Diego-based attorney Jeffrey Lake in Nevada County Superior Court on behalf of the ASA chapter, and the hearing has been scheduled for 11 a.m. July 27th. While declaration has not yet been made available to the public, a summary of the data supplied by the patients was filed in the court and was provided to the union. The members listed in a range of medical conditions that ran from the gamut from arthritis to cancer to depression, anxiety, insomnia. 39 of the 51 patients cited chronic and generalized pain, and 2 listed lack of focus. 11 patients listed mobility issues requiring the use of cane, walker, and wheelchair. According to the summary, 51 members of the chapter spent a total of $747,820 in establishing outdoor gardens, $176,000 in indoor grows. The majority of the witnesses provided declarations to own their residence. 12 who rent, 10 said they would not be able to obtain legal permission to cultivate from their landlords. Number of provisions in the ordinance would mean that many of the members would not be able to grow or obtain their medicine. According to the summary, 7 said they don't have the ability to cultivate marijuana for themselves, and 11 said they would not be able to cultivate for their collectives. A number of declarations stated from some restrictions, such as keeping grows from public view, cultivating in continuous plane, and restricting grows to a certain square footage, would eliminate their ability to cultivate altogether. On Friday, Lake also filed legal briefs in support of the injunction, including declarations by cannabis experts and legal counsel Chris Conrad. Lake wrote that his clients have gathered a staggering quantity of evidence demonstrating that emergency ordinance imposes unreasonable and arbitrary and unconstitutional difficulties on medical marijuana patients living in the unincorporated areas of the county. In his brief, Lake argued that the ordinance will cause extreme inseparable harm as riddled with provisions that violate state medical marijuana laws, both state and federal constitution. And here is the sheriff's most wanted. Welcome to Nevada County Sheriff's Office Most Wanted, updated July 5th, 2012. These people have warrants for their arrest. If you see any of these subjects on the street or have any information regarding their whereabouts, please contact the Sheriff's Department. Every effort is made to keep this information as current as possible. However, information provided should be verified before taking any action. Shown is the pictures of those most wanted. Please confirm warrant with the Nevada County Sheriff's Warrant Unit at 530-265-1474. Jason Angus McNutt, age 36, out of Truckee, violation, probation, felony, no bail. David Humberto Gonzalez, age 29, LKA, Grass Valley, lewd, lascivious acts, felony, $50,000. Sergio Espatilla, age 40, unknown location, for murder, felony, no bail. Charlene Jillian Hill, age 33, Nevada, drugs violation, probation, felony, $25,000. Cecilia Cunningham, aka Morgan or Gary, age 56, unknown, possibly LA, possible drugs for sale, conspired to commit a crime, resist arrest, felony, $30,000. Brendan Barker, age 31, unknown, numerous drug offenses, felony, $70,000. Justin Owen Byer, age 35, Grass Valley, numerous drug offenses, felony, $42,500. Mark Ray Johnson, age 45, Grass Valley, numerous drug offenses, felony, no bail. Michael Carl Peterson, age 28, Portland, in stolen vehicle, felony, $10,000. Elizabeth Ann Monk, age 44, Grass Valley, check passing insufficient funds, for felony, no bail. Robert Dean Hicks, age 60, Sacramento, grand theft felony, bail $50,000, and Tara Serene Davis, age 32, unknown possession of controlled substance under the influence, controlled substance felony, $10,000. Do not attempt to apprehend these suspects. Instead, contact a local law enforcement agency or the Nevada County Sheriff's Office at 530-265-1474. This update was July 5th, 2012. These people have warrants for their arrest. If you see any of the subjects on the street or have any information regarding their whereabouts, please contact the Sheriff's Department. Every effort is made to keep this information as current as possible. However, the information provided should be verified before taking any action. Shown are the pictures of the most wanted. Please confirm warrant with the Nevada County Sheriff's Warrants Division at 265-1474. Next up, Preston Robert Ryan, age 21, Grass Valley, possession of controlled substance, felony, no bail. Gordon Morgan Hewson, age 55, Olympia Valley, fourth conviction in 10 years of driving under the influence, revoked license, 2 felonies, $115,000. And Michael Devin Johnson, age 35, Grass Valley, robbery, burglary, false imprisonment, receive and conceal stolen property, felony, no bail. And Richard Dean Jaffarian, age 21, Truckee violation, probation, felony, no bail. And that's it today. We try to keep these updated whenever we can. And just remember, don't try to apprehend these people. Phone number is 265-1474 or 911. That's it for our local news today. Now we would like to thank the Union, Amy Goodman, Reuters, and Associated Press, and others for the source of the news, and you for watching. You can watch this broadcast, Comcast Cable, NCTV Channel 11, Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, Suddenlink Channel 16, Truckee and Alta Sierra, and now we have 10:30 Saturday in the morning and 8 p.m. Sunday night. We also air. We're also streamed on Internet's NCTV's Digital Media Center website, NevadaCountyTV.org, and GVTV.org, our site, and we also play Grass Valley Television plays, GrassValleyTelevision.com 24/7. And we post to Facebook, YouTube, Blip.tv, and many other podcast sites, and RSS feed, and video podcast, and iTunes. Just search under video podcast for GVTV News. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video or you need more information, Grass Valley Television, gmail.com, or 362-8889, that's 530. This show produced by Grass Valley Television and Rural County Television Network and